Hello everyone, I am Rachel from mercifulmornings.com and we are wrapping up a series today of videos all about the types of classes that you can teach on Outschool, because on this channel you are going to find the education, encouragement, and support that you need both for online teaching and also just daily life. Today, we're going to wrap it up and we're going to talk about flexible schedule classes. We've already talked about the 4 types of classes you can teach on Outschool. We've done the one-time class, the multi-day class, the ongoing class, and today is flexible schedule classes. If you missed the other videos, they are on my channel. They are in the Outschool playlist, so be sure to check those out. But today, let's jump right into it and talk about flex classes. Now, I saved these for last because they're just a completely different animal. They work differently. They have a refund policy that's different. There are different things you need to have in mind when you list them in your description. So we're going to go through all of those aspects of it today, the things that are required that you need to be sure are included to get your class approved. So if this is something that you need to know about, this is the video for you, and I hope to cover it all. Now, the main thing you need to know about flex classes is they are asynchronous, which basically means it's the only type of class on Outschool that's not live. You are not in a classroom in Zoom with students on a certain date at a certain time, but you are still going to have some interaction. Now, one of the first things I want to clear up about flex classes that I think is a little muddy for new teachers with Outschool. A lot of people think flex classes, you don't have to meet live, you don't have to have certain appointments. So it's basically like passive income. You make this class and you put it out there and anybody can sign up for it whenever they want and do it on their own time. Let's just clear that up right now. This is not passive income. You do still have to interact with the student. It's just done in a different way. The other thing is with flex classes, there's a lot more work up front, because since you are not talking with the student in a live class setting, you're going to be preparing videos of yourself for the student to watch. So there's a lot more, maybe not a lot, depending on the types of classes you already teach, but there is some more prep work up front, getting all the materials ready that the students will need to go through the class. And then during the class itself, you are required to maintain interaction with that student. We're going to talk about the different ways you can do that. Here's the nice part about flexible classes is you don't have those scheduled dates and times where you do have to meet with the student, which is wonderful for the teacher and the student. So there are things that need to be done within the week, but you can do it on your time. So let's talk about more specifically what all of this looks like practically in listing your class and in teaching the class. So you know I've got my notes, you know I've got my fancy card. Here's what you need to know about flex classes, except that's only like a tiny bit of what you need to know about flex classes. That's the very basics. So let's talk about what this needs to be. When you list your flex class, you need to be sure you have 0 live meetings. You will have no live meetings, but it does have to last at least 4 weeks. It can go longer. These are the great classes to do for maybe a semester course, but it needs to be at least 4 weeks. So be sure you have at least that much material when you are planning your flex class. When you list it, the title and the 1-sentence summary, be sure to say flexible schedule, those words, especially if this is a flex form of a live class you already teach. If you've already been teaching a math class live and you decide to make it into a flexible schedule class, be sure that that's listed so the parents can accurately pick which one they want to do. All right, what else? The description. The key word I want you to remember when you are working on your class description is interaction, okay? We talked about this is not passive income. The key to these classes is interaction. And even though you're not meeting live in the classroom to talk, you will be utilizing the Outschool classroom on their website. It's like just a page where you can put in comments, you can list announcements, discussion questions. We're going to talk about all those different types of things, but I want you to be very clear in your description. Say, no live meetings. There's not any. There are no live meetings. Say that, okay? And then I want you to be very clear about the types of interaction you will offer between teacher and student, and also between student and student. Be clear what types of interaction will you have, and we'll talk about what those can look like, and the frequency. How often are you providing those? If you only put a discussion question out there once within your 4-week class, that's not going to be sufficient. So you want to be sure and list what you're doing, how often you're doing it, to provide that interaction. So discussion questions, I already mentioned, those are great. If you are doing a novel study and maybe you're having them read a certain number of chapters this week, they have some questions to answer, an activity to do, put a question there in your classroom for everyone to see, for them to discuss. This provides interaction with you as the teacher, but it also allows them to respond to each other and encourage that. Students will be encouraged to respond to one another in discussion questions in the Outschool classroom. Boom, sentence, stick it in your description. That's a great way to do it. Okay, another way you can do it, have some challenge activities. Maybe you are learning about music and you want to challenge them to listen to a certain number of songs by this composer or from this genre within the week. And they can share how many songs did they listen to, what was their favorite. These challenge activities can also encourage them to interact with you and with each other. Sharing their works or their projects that they are doing throughout the class. They can share photos, they can make videos to share with you, or they can just type up some responses. Sharing that work with you and with each other encourages interaction. So you can see that even though you're not in the live classroom setting sharing these things, there are other ways to communicate throughout the class and interact with each other. So be sure, be specific. What are you doing? How often are you doing it? Put it all in your description. All right, assignments. This is not a type of situation where you're just like, read this book, here's some activities, you've got 4 weeks to do it. No, you need to have pretty much a syllabus lined out. So maybe Monday, you let the parents know, on Monday, I'm gonna provide the assignments for the week or the outline for the week. Here are the videos you need to watch, the assignments that you need to complete. Okay, and maybe they're due on Friday. This works to that flexible schedule mindset. Yes, these are the things that need to happen this week, but you do have the week to do it. So they can work at their own pace. They can start on Monday, or if they've got stuff going, maybe they start on Tuesday. Whatever works for them, they can pace it out. Maybe they finish early and get it all submitted by Wednesday, or maybe they're right there at the end. But you make sure they know this is what's expected this week. This is when it's all due, and I will be checking for it. So it keeps everyone on track, but still provides that flexible schedule that everybody signed up for in the first place. So you do need to make sure there are assignments and expectations throughout your class. You can offer live meetings. Now, this is not you're scheduling out live classes for your class as you list it. This is within the week, I will be offering office hours, okay? And you can make a Zoom link, whatever that looks like, or you'll be available there live in the classroom. I will be offering office hours on this hour, this day, and they know they can reach you live at that point, whether it's discussion within the Outschool classroom itself, emailing back and forth, or whether you have a Zoom session that you open up. It's completely up to you. You can also offer an optional group chat session if you'd like, with a Zoom session if you want to do it that way. This does need to be optional though. This can't be a required class that they have to attend. That defeats the whole purpose of why they chose your class. But there may be some in there that want that social time or have specific questions they want to come and ask you. So it's an option available to you, but you don't have to do it. Let's talk about the types of posts you need to include in this class. We've already talked about pre-recorded lessons, okay? You can do something just like this where you just record yourself talking. Maybe you have the book or some math or whatever it is you're teaching that you show and model for them. Okay, so do pre-recorded lessons like this. You can also utilize things like Zoom or Loom, if you haven't looked into that one. And these are ways where you can also share things like Google Slides or a PowerPoint or Canva presentation, but you could also have your video in there, and so they can hear you talking, see your face, but also see whatever it is you're wanting to present. Those are great options. Create your video, upload it onto YouTube as an unlisted video, and then you've got that link ready to share whenever it's time for them to view those. You can put together a playlist for the whole week. Maybe you have a video for each day of the week, and you make a playlist week 1 for this class, and you share the link to that playlist, and they work their way through it on their own time. This is a great way to share those pre-recorded lessons. Announcements, you want to be sure to touch base within the Outschool classroom. Just post an announcement each week. Hey, be sure you're getting this done, or great job everybody on this. I loved seeing your responses to this question, whatever it is. Post those announcements in the classroom and maintain that interaction. We've talked about assignments. This can look like just about anything. It can be projects, listening and response, read these chapters, answer these comprehension questions. You can do all kinds of things. An art project. It's completely up to you and whatever your class requires. Another thing you want to be sure to maintain is that communication between the teacher and the learner or the parent, okay? So this can be privately through the Outschool classroom, or it can be on the wall for everyone, but make sure you're doing it. All right, other options you can include in your class, but you don't have to. I've found a few different types of interaction that other teachers are using, but I know there's more than this, and I'd love to hear from you if you have them. So be sure whatever it is you do decide to use in your class, it has to be accessible from the Outschool classroom. So if you share a link in the Outschool classroom, they have to be able to access that without a separate login or password. Okay, so someone from the Outschool staff needs to be able to click on that link and access whatever it is you're sharing without needing an extra login and password. So keep that in mind. So you can do quizzes, you can do forums, interactive software. There are a lot of really cool tools out there that teachers use. I know Kahoot is a very popular one to do games, Quizlet, Nearpod, Edpuzzle. Do I know what all these are? Not yet, but these are some that I have seen that other teachers have been using in their courses. Some I'm familiar with, some I'm learning, and they're really great tools. So get out there and find what works best for you, what you're teaching, what your needs are, and learn what you need to incorporate that and make your class really interactive and fun, okay? Now, the last thing we're gonna address is the refund policy. Short and simple, but completely different from all of the others. With the refund policy, it is prorated based on the length of class that has occurred already. So just know that that's different. It's not, from when they signed up or when the class ended or anything like that. It is prorated based on the length of class that has occurred. So that's it, guys. That's all I've got for flex classes today. I would love to hear from you if you teach flex classes already or have suggestions or thoughts on them, or if you've got more questions, leave them in the comments. Be sure you like this video if it was helpful for you and share it with other people that you think might also benefit from it so they know that it's beneficial as well. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the bell. That way you will be notified when more of these videos come available to you. If you are not an Outschool teacher yet and you feel like teaching online would be a really good gig for you, it's some pretty good money, I'll tell you that. Email me mercifulmornings@gmail.com. I do have below in the description box a link to apply, but you want to be sure and email me too so that you receive the free coaching services that I offer. I coach teachers through the application process and I coach you through course creation. I love it. I have a lot of experience developing curriculum. So even if you're a current Outschool teacher and you're just like, I need some help making a course, email me. I would love to help you with that. And I do offer paid coaching services as well. So I hope this was helpful for you today. And that's it for this one. We have covered all the Outschool class types. Yay! Catch the other videos if you missed them. Remember, there's always hope. So choose joy. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.